Today we're concluding our reading with Bryant. Um, Yesterday we drew these cards for Kobe, and it turns out that this person is somehow in the middle of everything, and it turns out that he represents essentially the page of stars. What this is a novitiate or a novitiate, someone who is working with spiritual powers in a religious community or cult, who is essentially playing with spirit. They know enough to get into trouble and not enough to be an expert. So they're a novice. And tonight I'm bringing clarity to this card because this card I misread. I thought it was the Six of Spheres, but it's the Seven of Spheres. This is the recent past, and this explains everything about the helicopter. This essentially is Kobe, and he's in an agreement with this person. He's talking with them, and they have a order of business that's regarding profit, but they are in disagreement. And the young person who is below them, who is Kobe's daughter, is looking away. She doesn't want to participate in this discussion. What this says literally is this seven is the obstacle. And as you can see, this is the three-pointed obelisk. Now I'm going to show you what in sacred geometry this is. This is a fluorite crystal, and as you can see, it is a four-sided crystal. So on top are four sides, and then you turn it over, and there's the other four sides, all right? So this crystal has 8 sides, and as you can see, it has channels in it, all right? Once I line it up properly, you can see the there you can see it. There's the channel where the energy passes through the crystal. Now, in the ancient religions, the 4 suits corresponded to the different people. And so the people who were working with the spheres worked with the elementals. They were the alchemists. So they would have been working with metal. Okay? So this 4-sided structure symbolizes the 4 blades of the helicopter. And this cube is not shadow box. This cube is the obstacle which the 4 blades could not overcome. Literally, it was the mountain which the helicopter crashed. This is the number of obstacle. So it does appear that Kobe died and his daughter in this helicopter crash. And I would like to give condolences to all of Kobe Bryant's family and connections. We want to send our heartfelt condolences. In the present moment, Kobe is at peace. This is the dove of peace, and he's in the land of God because the stars is the spirit world. And I looked up this symbol, and this is the symbol of metal Mercury in this deck. And I'm going to pull 3 cards to give consolation and peace and love to all of Kobe's connections, because today is his memorial. So the cardinal sends blessings. the number 8 to the woman, and unfortunately of Kobe's death. And that way we can have finality and his memory. So Kobe in this present moment is at peace. And so the blessings are sent from the 7 of stars. Now, once again, 7 is the number of obstacles, and stars corresponds, this is the 12. This is the higher court. So this corresponds to the King of Swords in the more later decks. But the cardinal is not the Pope, but the cardinal is the king of the ecumenical kingdom of the spirit world. And so here we can see the cardinal along with his truth sayers are in presence of Kobe now in heaven. And here on earth we have the 8 of spheres, which are the people here, his fellow scientists and sportsmen who are sorrowful for our loss. And of course, this is not just the trump card and the number of death, it is also the number of renewal. So, and there it is once again, death by the pointy hillside. Yes, unfortunately, his obstacle of the mountain overcame his helicopter, and we are very sad for our loss, and the blessings are sent to him from the King of Heaven. Now, the conclusion and the outcome of our reading from yesterday, we drew these 2 cards, and this, of course, is the card of finality. However, I looked more closely into this because this more completely symbolizes Kobe's death as the release from bondage, the release from the body. He is no longer chained to this world and in bondage any longer. And you can see this is the Saturn and the Libra. And once again, now the cross was actually a symbol of the crucifix. So this is the ending, and a quick and merciful ending. I would like to give a little bit of background about this Nostradamus deck and this card, which actually, this is the star. And so we drew yesterday again the star. And stars are not just the sun. Kobe is the star, and he is being guided by the Griffon who wields the sphere into the other world, because the star is the transmutation of entering from the body into the plane of heaven. All right, now, once again, I wanted to let everyone know I am fluent in Latin, and I would like to give the background for this inscription, which has been very misquoted in the book, and I have I did quite a bit of work last night to actually translate this inscription, which says that the rain are those who will have sought after those who come from long and far. The rain will have sought to enslave those who have come long and far to the star, And it turns out that the star is actually symbolized here by Venus. Venus is in one of these cards. And the reason why is because this is the symbol of Saturn, but in that time period, Saturn actually correspond to the monarchy, which was the ruling class. So what this essentially is saying is the guards are coming to get the three kings who have sought the Star of Bethlehem, because the star is actually Venus, but the ultimate star is when Venus conjuncts to create the Star of Bethlehem, and ultimately this card is symbolizing the Star of Bethlehem. Those who sought long and far for the star are the three kings who symbolize the three tribes of Abraham. As we all know, I went through a set of astronomy calculations that actually this pictorial painting is set to the to be in conjunction in this reading with the number 17, and I looked it up. It corresponds to the Earth time 1 AD, which is the birth of Christ, which is when the Star of Bethlehem appeared. And so what this card conjunction is saying is that the guards were coming for the three kings. Balthazar, who brought the three gifts. This card is actually Kobe's three gifts because he left behind his wife and two daughters. Those are the three gifts that the earth plane he left for us on earth. All right. So once again, the actual literal translation of the Nostradamus for the time 1 AD is the sheriff's guard and those who have sought long and far to enslave the three tribes at the Star of Bethlehem. Mercury rings over Lady Luck, which is meant to mean that the ruling class was actually enslaving the three tribes, and the reason why Balthazar and the two kings were coming to Bethlehem, of course, was, everyone knows there was the census at that time, but in fact, they had come to free the three tribes of Abraham. That's what this is talking about. This is talking about freeing the slaves of Israel. And then the next line, and this is the part that's really bizarre, it says, two joyous guys of two large magistrates, the great treaty, together, great power of self to be augmented truth upon oneself. So, because they didn't talk English back then, this card deck was made from 1555 AD and has an extremely, extremely strong ecumenical economical set of suits. So what this is saying is that when the three gifts arrive to free the three tribes of Israel, which are now Israel, Palestine, and I couldn't tell you who the third tribe is, that is the prophecy of the great treaty of the two guys who will and this is the part that they don't want to talk about, it says, du jus seront de mis les deux grandes maîtresses. It says the two happy guys at the expense of their two large dynasties. The great treaty together augment grand power of truth of oneself put back upon oneself. So what this is saying is it's serving for the rulers and not the people. All right, so in conclusion today, we're going to draw from this beautiful deck of energy cards because I want to send love and blessings to all the people who love Kobe. Oh my gosh, here we are. I'm so sorry to say, but we have the 26 card, the Sword of Hostilities, and once again, this comes back to the disagreement between Kobe and this person. All right, so let us read this card of conflict, number 26. This card shows a man raising his sword in readiness to do battle. It reveals a situation where hostilities have been engaged. So there was definitely a conflict going on with Kobe at the time of his death. The aggressive energy may be verbal or emotional, with someone in Kobe's environment being critical, demanding, or hurtful. This is not deceit. The hostility energies are apparent and overt. They may have been living with the person at the time. But whether the conflict is new or old, now is the time to regain control. So, unfortunately, through Kobe's death, the disagreement was able to be essentially finalized. All right, love and blessings to all. Love and blessings to all. Thank you for subscribing. This channel is brand new and I really appreciate the subscriptions. It matters so much to me.